Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Krang or Klang, or I can't remember. Anyway, I am very attractive, and with me, as always, is noted mahogany apologist Mio Dread Magas. What up, gangster?
There is no need to apologize for mahogany. It is a wonderful, wonderful substance.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's always on the defensive about mahogany.
We are here in the Southeast Asia country of Malaysia for...
Which is French for bad Asia.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. We are here at the Sepang Grand Prix circuit in Kuala Lumpur, home of the... Well, former home of the F1 Grand Prix, current home of the MotoGP Grand Prix, and Kaleb Gonzalez, exploring the limits of the track. And this is the monthly Enduro race, 90 minutes of Sepang, here with GT3s and GT4s. If it's got a blue slash beside it, it's GT3. If it's got an yellow-orange slash, it's GT4.
I'm going to call that very off-red.
That works too. Here is Mauricio Delgado, currently in 5th place, and Michael Magas currently in 9th place amongst the GT4 contingent. Big shout out to the returning driver, Javier Perez Torres.
I heard he's all the way up to like 7 gigabytes of RAM now.
He's got a new computer, and it's shiny, and he raced ACC today, and it did a fantastic job. So,
excellent. He's saying he can see like trees and stuff now, so that's pretty impressive.
You can see like details. He was amazed by like the little thunderstorm we had going on, and the fireworks at the end of the race. So currently on pole position we have Christoph Verstappen ahead of Jesus Huerta and Mike Stofmeel, and in the GT4 category it is Zifo Duran dominating the field from Liam Curtin, who in fact here is Liam Curtin in the black KTM or Black Lotus, pardon me, and then Sergio Mengual.
I also noted wire fanatic Mike Stofmeel.
Oh, indeed. The Stofmeel has swallowed the wire whole.
Apparently just starting season 4.
Mm-hmm. We got a pair of McLaren 650Ss in the field, which is a bit unusual. Kaleb Gonzalez is one that we have seen already. He's up in 5th place. And down in 15th is Bertrand Barriere, who is new to the grid. Was going to suit up in a GT4, but was absolutely whipping the GT4 competition and got promoted to GT3.
Congratulations, you've been.
And there he is, actually, in the dragon, the silver and orange dragon kind of colored or patterned car.
Rar. That's the Irish flag, sir?
No. It's the Welsh flag you're thinking of, and it's not very similar to the pattern on the car.
It's actually the Bhutanese flag.
It is the great flag of Bhutan.
If you get promoted high enough, do you just get promoted to just GT and then just G?
GT1 would be the highest end of the GT ladder.
I think there should be a step above where they just remove the numbers. You have exceeded all numerical counting.
You are numerically categorical.
Something like that.
So we're down to the last little over a minute here in qualifying. Sepang lap is 2:02 for the GT3, so quite a ways. Hey, Tony Santaclara just popped up in a 3rd place there in the GT4 category. He was a late joiner. Ariel Zatoni in 7th place. Here comes our board Dixon Hurst, who is currently near the back there in 30th place, but has 2 personal best sectors. Let's see what he can do.
He is the best at being personal.
Not sure about that. This is the not the start-finish straight, but the straight before the start-finish straight. We'll see what he can do, but it looks like it will be Christoph Verstappen in the BMW M6 who leads the way from the front, with the Mercedes of Jesus Huerta and Mike Stofmeel, Luciano Achazo in the Callaway Corvette, and Kaleb Gonzalez. Kaleb coming in with the Kaleb special here. No ballast in a series where a lot of people have a lot of ballast. I look forward to big things from him.
I've seen some pretty big things already, mostly a lot of spins.
Couple spins. Oops. Just
Oh my god. There
knocked
goes
over my
bedpan.
water bottle. Zifo Duran will start from pole in the GT4 category.
Are you sure you're not on cocaine? You're all sneezing beforehand, and now it's all like...
Well, that's just more like the sneezing, really, to be honest.
Sure, buddy.
Indeed, I may be slightly absentee from the commentary on this one, just because of the sneezing. What it is that there's a park not too far from my house that I tend to walk through to get to like shopping and or just to stretch my legs or whatever. And last couple of times through there, I've noticed that I've been getting the sniffles after the park, and probably means that there's something blooming in there that doesn't overly agree with my sinuses.
I think his name is Dave, and he deals out the cocaine.
Again, cocaine. I don't use cocaine. So why would I? Why would I need a cocaine dealer, sir? Jesus. And here we go. So it looks like Jesus Huerta got a good start there. He's in that blue Mercedes. Mike Stofmeel coming in behind him in the white, green, and black one. Not a great start for Christoph Verstappen. Gerardo Delval is in 4th place, but he has a BMW diving to his inside, and that's Ariel Zatoni and the McLaren of Kaleb Gonzalez. Although Kaleb goes quite wide, and Gerardo will get that 5th place back. Problems for Wayne Hutchison and Sean Kinney. They have dropped back into the GT4 field, so not a good start for them.
Probably some somebody. Contact. Saw a little disco spin.
Indeed. Could be Luciano Ichazo, who has dropped a number of spots. That was probably who you saw.
More likely.
Mike Stofmeel in 3rd position here. He has a lot of ballast on this car at this point. I think something like 60 plus kilos. I don't remember exactly. But he is still in 3rd place ahead of Ariel Zatoni and Gerardo Delval. Kaleb Gonzalez in 6th. And the Audi of Alvar Gomez Cuesta in 7th place. Zifo Duran is the GT4 leader as we hop on board with Sergio Mengual, who is fighting for, and that'd be what, 4th place with Alex Laughlin, or 5th place actually.
97th place.
So Hutchison has gotten through the GT4 traffic, but it is going to be a longer process for Sean Kenny and Luciano Ichazo. Richard DeRoche, 7th place in the big honkin' BMW M6.
MI6.
Whoa! In the background, that was Bertrand Barrier spinning out in the 650S. 650S has been kind of patched up a little bit to a little closer to top BOP in this game. It's still kind of on its own, so it's a bit of a boring car in that regard. But it can hang to a degree with the ADAC GT3s of Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Callaway, and Porsche.
And Daihatsu.
That would be interesting. A Daihatsu in the GT3 category. Oh, boy. Of all the car makers in the world, that probably ranks somewhere near the bottom on that being likely to happen.
What about Edsel?
Also very unlikely.
Fair enough.
Think of the car manufacturers. Oh, my stop bill spinning!
Oh my goodness.
Did he get hit by Zatoni or did he lose it on his own? And Kaleb Gonzalez is charging through into 3rd place. Gerardo Delval to the inside. Shoves Zatoni out a little bit wide. Takes 4th place. Stofmeel is back running in 7th place and taking a run at Richard DeRoche, and I think he's got it. Martin Edmonds in the background there looking to go to the inside as well. Max Simmons in the mix there. Alvar Gomez Cuesta is going backwards. Not sure what's up with the Audi driver.
I think Stofmeel might be calling in a favor from Brother Mouzone.
Brother Mouzone. The Stofmeel Enterprises need some assistance in those towers.
Correct. Look at them majestically migrating in formation over the tarmac.
Yes, it is tarmac.
Not to be confused with Corkmac.
There's Alvar Gomez Cuesta going side by side with, I believe, Andrew D. I know that's Fran Machuca actually in the BMW. So those two are still squabbling. Andrew D's a little bit further back in the very fetching dark blue car there with the gray highlights. That is Andrew D. Still a lot of shuffling going on here. It's a very packed format right now, although Christoph Verstappen is 6.5 seconds out in front, so he needs to get his head down and make gap while the sun shines. Sean Kenny still hasn't gotten through the GT4s. Come on, Sean.
He's having fun. Leave him alone. He tries his best. You just keep yelling at him, and I'm going to report you to the authorities.
Go ahead.
I might.
It is a 16-15 breakdown between the GT3s and the GT4s here today. Jesus Huerta looking down the inside there of Martin Edmondson, not getting it. Alvar Gomez Cuesta exploring the track.
He's very adventurous.
Yeah, well, it's going to cost him a spot there to
for
Fran
that
Machuca.
young plucky rookie Mike Magas, currently in 25th and a half place.
You're going to be disappointed by that.
What? No, come on.
There's going to be some technical difficulties.
Well, maybe you should make them technically easier.
Which was very weird because, of course, you know, being me, there's on one computer I'm recording this event, on the other computer I'm racing this event, and the fact that one of them ping spiked and the other one didn't, very surprising.
That is a little odd.
Because it is, of course, the same internet connection.
Is that also the same computer that has the German adult films on the FTP server?
No, that's the other computer.
Oh, the other computer.
That's the old computer that's now the Porto server. Martin Edmonds making a huge mistake there and falling back a couple of spots there, including one to Mike Stofmeel. Stofmeel's still only in 6th place, so the charge has been blunted to a degree. Sean Kenny at the back. He may not be moving anymore. Whoa!
Hello.
Richard DeRoche giving Ariel Zatoni a 1-4.
He give you a high five.
I mean, that's one way of putting it. In the meantime, Stofmeel has dealt with the poutine-powered supercar that is Martin Edmonds for 5th place.
My goodness.
It looks like Kenny is still running, actually, so that's good. Although at the back of the pack would suggest something significant has happened to his racing options. DeRoche still holding off Stofmeel, although actually right now it's Edmonds actually who's putting the fight to Stofmeel as DeRoche goes up the inside of Ariel Zatoni for 3rd place. So Grande Ricardo on the charge.
You gonna put them all on the wall. They all go in the wall on the lap I call. Rumble, young man, rumble.
In the GT4 category, Zifo Duran still leads from Douglas DeGroat, Tony Santaclara, Liam Curtin, and Sergio Mengual, your top 5. Gerardo Daval at the back of the pack now as well, so something has happened to the row Porsche. Not too many Porsches in the field, actually. Only 2 in the GT3 category, and a little bit more in the GT4 category with 4 of them. But given how many GT3 Porsches we have in the ACC series, a little bit interesting to see the discrepancy in choices.
Have you ever thought that maybe it's sponsored by Mike Rowe?
It's a worthy thought, but it is not. It's the Row Oil Company that sponsors that particular Porsche.
Do they have to row their boats to get out to the oil rigs?
I mean, I imagine so. Seems like there's some rowing in there at some point.
Hell yeah.
Mike Stofmeel looking for a way past Ariel Tony, but none is forthcoming quite yet. Still has Edmonds, Machuca in the mix. Andrew D's up to 8th place. Really good day for the BMW M6 crew right now. 1st, 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And of course, the BMWs are having a fairly good day in the GT4 category as well. Douglas DeGroat currently in 3rd place. But he is going to lose that spot, I think, to Liam Curtin. No, he is not. Holds on to it, so it's an all BMW podium in the GT4 category. At least so far, plenty of time to go. We are 10 minutes, roughly 10 minutes into a 90-minute race.
And I don't see anybody going in the wall, so these guys are obviously slacking.
Yeah, it doesn't appear anyone's met the wall yet. The walls here are quite far from the track, though, so you got to go out of your way. Though Sean Kenny did find the wall in today's ACC practice race, so there is hope yet.
This just in. Russia denies its nuclear plants are the source of a radiation leak that detected over Scandinavia. Insert picture of Marty McFly. Hey, I've seen this one.
Russians denying things?
Nuclear reactor problems? No.
Luciano Echazo battling there with Max Sims. Max Simmons is having a pretty unimpressive run so far as Liam Curtin moves into 2nd place, getting past both DeGroat and Santaclara. Sergio Mengual also in that mix in the other Lotus there in the red and white.
Is Tony in charge of the Santaclara wine mixer?
Might be. That's a very nice livery he's got there, I must say. Mike Stofmeel's still 5th place, but you get the feeling that that's a temporary arrangement.
I can dig on that.
Also, pretty sure Mike Stofmeel is the ESR Brother Muzo. I feel like that's the case.
And get your personage back across whatever. I can't remember the name. It was 49th Street or something.
I thought it was Fremont.
I don't know. I don't remember. I have to look. I have to watch it.
I think it
again.
was Fremont. I think it was Fremont.
69. Well done. Well done, Martin. High five.
Allow me to be clear. I need you to get your black ass west of or east of Fremont. Brother Muzone, a great character.
Correct.
Lamar, where is my Harpers? In the meantime, this group, despite all their squabbling, are slowly catching Kaleb Gonzalez, who's in 2nd place in that McLaren 650S. As I said, the McLaren not really quite on the same level as the rest of these cars, but it is getting there, and I do appreciate that.
Kind of expected more of a complete domination here from Mr. The great Kaleb Gonzo.
Well, he's in a car that's not necessarily top shelf, but I do expect great things from him. Because anytime Kaleb is out there, pace is just naturally going to be there. As Mike Stofmeel takes 4th place from Ariel Tony.
Stofmeel watch. Oh, lo, he coming.
Stofmeel come. Meantime, Douglas DeGroat still hanging on to that 3rd place, or perhaps he's just taken it. I can't overly remember who had it, him or Tony Santaclara. I think Santaclara was ahead last time we checked in, so I think that's DeGroat has taken 3rd place. And Liam Curtin is, of course, sprinting away from that battle, saying, "Yes, gentlemen, keep fighting, keep fighting. No, don't, just ignore me."
That young, sprightly rookie, Magas, has teleported way out in front. You can't even see him on the leaderboard anymore.
Yeah, this would be about when the connection was lost, and I joined Gerardo Delval and Sean Kenny on being out of this race. Possibly John Peach as well. We'll see if we see him at some point, but he appears to be 2 laps down to Dixon Hurst, and that suggests. Oh,
Hello.
Wayne Hutchison going around. Yeah, this is the disappointing guy on the day. Actually, is Jesus Huerta. Keep in mind he started in P2 and is down battling for 8th place with Andrew D.
I'm not going to talk shit about him. He can race better than me. Ariel's a Tony, though. I can definitely beat that guy.
Looks like, well, there perhaps is the reason for Huerta's struggles. The front end is very crumpled. So at some point, Mr. Huerta has headbutted something that was not terribly receptive to his attentions. Somebody rejoining the circuit back there. I think that was Dixon Hurst.
Could be you.
No, it's definitely not me.
Incognito.
Tony Santaclara putting the pressure on Douglas DeGroat. And I believe this is Tony Santaclara's first ever ESR race, actually. He's a name that is familiar because he was part of the multi-community GT3 series a little while ago.
Oh, yeah.
Was driving a Mustang, if I recall correctly, which was a little bit... okay, that's just some GT4s getting out of the way. Andrew D has pulled a bit of a gap, though, to Jesus Huerta, who is probably undeniably struggling with some damage to that car.
I heard that the D stands for delicious.
I do know what the D stands for, because he has donated to the community, so I do know his actual last name, but I will, of course, not reveal that to the public at large.
Is it decelerate, Smythe?
No.
Hyphenated?
Oh!
Uh-oh.
Santaclara gets spun around by Douglas DeGroat. And that lets John Barker and Alex Loeffler through.
He definitely got Santaclara wine mixered on that one.
Mm-hmm. So GT... Oh, and something happened with Liam Curtin, because he's actually back there now in the black Audi. Or not Audi, Lotus. And it is an all BMW podium once again. Duran, DeGroat, Barker, Loeffler, and Curtin. As the top Porsche in the GT4 field there, James Butler fights to hold off the resurgent Santaclara and Javier Perez-Torres. Go Javi.
Go Javi. Go Javi. Use a body hook and you hit him in the liver.
He does throw a lot of body hooks in the MMA, so we'll say that.
Indeed. I shared up that how good was Boss Rootin' really video to him.
He was telling me this. Yeah.
He's like, wait, Ken Shamrock has a brother.
I mean,
Yeah.
not really, because they're not blood brothers, but yeah, foster brothers.
Yeah, I said they're both adopted. They're both assholes.
To be honest, I've never seen two non-brothers look more like brothers than Frank and Ken Shamrock.
Correct. Fucking get him, Liam.
Liam Curtin going side by side with Alex Loeffler. Loeffler hanging on to fourth for now, but it does feel like that's a temporary arrangement.
The lawful copter.
And it does look like we've lost Picha, and now also Bertrand Barriere might be out of the race as well, dropping us to 26 cars.
The Barrier.
Indeed.
Bertrand, Barium, Swallow, Barrier.
It was interesting hearing Martin actually talk French to Bertrand. Oh, Fran Machuca!
Fran Machuca, much like the Muay Thai fighter kids, has changed his first name to reflect his lifelong sponsorship by Fran Motorsports.
Tony Santaclara looking down the inside of James Butler. And I think he'll get this done. Butler, of course, one of the few brave men still racing the Porsche, which is Not the strongest of cars. But he actually is hanging on for now.
I wonder if Fran is short for Francisco.
I do believe that that is the case.
I figured it was.
John Barker, third place. Man, John Barker would be like really a championship threat if it wasn't for the fact that he lost like 2 races worth of points to connection issues.
Well, I mean, just plug the cable in more firmly. Come on, guys.
As John Barker continues to pester Douglas DeGroat. DeGroat seems like very much the cork in the bottle every time we see him. Although, not that it matters, Zifo Duran is... Well, he gone. We'll just put it that way. 13
Correct.
seconds up the road from DeGroat. In the lead of the GT4 category.
Just a friendly reminder that planet Earth is a dense molten core encased in layers of solids and therefore is technically speaking a ravioli.
As a mistake there by DeGroat did allow Barker pass, but Barker returned the favor, but doesn't look like DeGroat has capitalized. Mike Stofmeel still in 4th place on the Stofmeel watch. Liam Curtin trying to fight his way through. He's still battling with Alex Loeffler.
Hey, Christoph, don't look into your rearview mirror. You will be very upset.
Christoph has made a mistake at some point, actually, and has lost spots to Kaleb Gonzalez and Richard DeRoche. So that happened off screen. Kaleb now in the lead for McLaren.
The Grande Ricardo, he go to the front. Actually, Grande Ricardo is catching up to Kaleb quite rapidly, I think.
Indeed, it is closing the gap. Grande Ricardo, who was very indifferent in qualifying, is absolutely making the best of this. Now, I do believe that I have seen why that is. You can see that it is Kaleb Gonzalez in the orange car in the background, so he's making his way through traffic. So that could be the source of the gap closer. Oh, that's Verstappen again. So he is dropping even further back and Stofmeel into the top 3.
Just stripping off. Classic.
There is the race leader, Kaleb Gonzalez, making his way through traffic, and Sergio Mengual looking to do much the same, although for position. He's just overtaken fellow Lotus Liam Curtin, and that is Richard DeRoche going through the traffic as well. So Richard seems to be making better progress through the traffic than Kaleb, and that is probably bringing the gap down. And you can see what I mean by how DeGroat had been serving as a stopper in the bottle. Now that Barker is clear of DeGroat, he gone. And Alex Loeffler has also gotten past DeGroat as well. Oh, Ariel Zatoni, a little bit of contact there with, I think, one of the GT4s, or that might have actually been Stofmeel yet.
No, Stofmeel is already ahead of him.
That's Stofmeel right up there in the black Mercedes. Making his way through James Butler. Blue flags are waving. Oh, Sergio Mengual kind of defended that a little bit. I don't know if he realized that Zatoni was coming through.
Little known fact, Mike Stofmeel actually French. He just goes so fast the flag turns sideways.
Indeed. As Martin Edmonds makes a late move there to get past James Boulier. There's Stofmeel trying to catch up to Richard DeRoche, but he's got... Oh, contact! Loeffler spins. And DeGroat will take 3rd, but may face repercussions from the stewards for that.
He gonna get a butt spanking.
Somebody gonna get a beating.
And
oh, DeGroat has thrown it away! That was DeGroat off the track.
Why he do this?
Alright, so once this whole blue flag scenario sorts out, I will try to recollect where we are with the GT4s, but it's not been the cleanest process.
Looks like at some point we lost the AG queso.
Yep, looks like Alvar Gomez Quest is done, and Dixon Hurst may also be done down a lap there. Yep. He pitted, though, so I think it's chance that Hurst is still running. Just very off the pace today. My God, the carnage of the chaos of these blue flags right now. And so many people still trying to, race each other, obviously, so it's an incredibly delicate balance. James Butler versus Sergio Mengual, as that is Andrew D zipping through in the, there we go, the PlayStation BMW.
Do they have a PlayStation actually in the car?
Might.
Can you control the car by using a PlayStation controller?
I don't think that would go well.
Oh, come on. It'd be so meta.
That is some Fast and Furious stuff with the Asian driver in the first movie there.
I was like, oh man, I gotta put my video games away? Shit.
Ja Rule's trying to get a threesome, and there's the Asian guy just playing video games.
It's kind of the story of Ja Rule's career, really. I'm gonna try to get oh no, it's all gone now.
I mean, he had a memorable role in the Fast and Furious there.
That's
so,
correct.
Yeah.
I remember him distinctly yelling, Monica, no!
Monica!
And then it was all over for him.
Indeed.
Much like his entire career.
Racing for a menage a trois and ended up in dead last place in that race.
Correct. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile.
Actually, apparently the Asian guy who was the fourth racer in that particular scene, it was just actually was not an actor. He was one of the street racing advisors on the film.
I do distinctly remember that you may or may not be correct.
Andrew D back to 10th place, so he's having some problems there. He got held up in the traffic, I think, a fair bit. Luciano Echazo is capitalized for 9th place. So quick rundown: Kaleb Gonzalez still leads from Richard DeRoche, Mike Stofmeel. Ariel Satoni and Martin Edmonds round off the top 5. Jesus Huertas coming back through the field. He's up to 6th place. And in the GT4 category, it is Zifo Duran leading John Barker, Liam Curtin. I was going to say Tony Santaclara, and then he fell a bunch of places, so he must have spun off or something. So it is Duran, Barker, Curtin. James Butler up to 4th place, and then Sergio Mengual.
All right, I got to know. Does the D in Andrew stand for Dmitry Yuskevich?
It does not.
Oh, right, fair enough. I'll keep guessing.
I always did like the Dmitry Yuskevich name, I must say.
Something about it.
Yeah.
Just kind of rolls off the tongue. Not sure how or why.
Yeah.
It really should not.
Really should not. One of the better defensive defensemen that Russia produced during the 90s, of course.
The finest being Merrick Malik.
Well, now you got me thinking. Finest Russian defensive defenseman. I mean, is it Vladimir Konstantinov?
Probably.
Probably is.
I can't really argue with that. What about Semenov? Oh, wait.
Because, I mean, the most known Russian defenseman of that era probably is Sergei Gonchar, but Gonchar's specialty was not defensive in nature.
Don't mess around, you'll get the Gonch launch.
A couple of GT4s here battling for position. This is James Butler back to Mauricio Delgado, and Max Simmons coming up behind them in the plaid Porsche.
I'm not gonna lie, you boys making me want some Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
I mean, I always want Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, so I mean...
This is fair. I usually don't get hungry in the mornings. I usually don't eat breakfast, and then I come home from work after 2 p.m. and have a big old lunch, and then eat later on, like very late in the evening. It's usually my go-to. But for some reason or other last week, I was desperately starving to death at like 9:30 in the morning for unexplained reasons. So I happened to go down the candy aisle, and we were having sales, and I got one bag of Reese's Pieces and another bag of Reese's Pieces with peanuts in the middle.
Oh, contact!
Dang. Somebody's
Actually,
Reese's Pieces over there.
Sergio Mengual took that like a champ, actually. And it's still going, and it actually cost Javier Perez Torres his 6th place to Mauricio Delgado.
So, long story short, Reese's Pieces with peanuts in them, totally awesome.
That does sound delicious.
It is delicious.
I'm personally the mini white peanut butter cup fan myself.
Not seen those.
Those are delicious.
I shall investigate.
So good. Now the only problem with them is I opened the bag to have like, a couple, and then the bag is gone.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Jesus Huerta still on the tail of that is Ariel Zatoni. So actually Huerta's up into the top 5, having overtaken Edmonds and Machuca. So that's a pretty solid run he's had, although you can see the windshield is a little cracked up. In terms of pit stops, we've seen Tony Santaclara and Douglas DeGroat come in for their service. No one else has yet. And my earlier assertion that Dixon Hurst might just be slow does not appear to be the case because he's lost 2 more laps.
Return of the laps.
So I would say that we're down to 24 cars remaining.
Left turn on some laps. Is it true that this is just slightly fancier NASCAR?
I mean, that is a way of looking at it. I'd say DTM is more the slightly fancier NASCAR, to be honest. Because these are real. Oh, Mauricio Delgado going around in the background.
It's all NASCAR? It always was.
Well, NASCAR is a silhouette series, which means the cars are not real cars anymore. They're just a shell with race-built components inside of them. Which would be more the DTM route. GT4 cars and GT3 cars, and GT cars in general, are all real, can be purchased, although generally very expensive, cars.
Bring me the Dodge Viper.
There was a GT3 Dodge Viper at one point. Then Dodge was like, no, fuck that.
Well, a bunch of pricks.
We're allergic to winning. Like this Mercedes, or like this BMW M6 here that Fran Machuca is driving, minus the paint scheme, you can buy and drive around the neighborhood if you want, with pretty much the exact same specifications.
But could I get one in purple?
Yes, probably.
Sure. Would it not just go too fast?
It would be all the passes.
I heard purple cars go faster.
As it looks like Huerta has actually fought his way back to 4th place, so I would give him a round of applause, but I can't hold the microphone. Well, I can give a chest thump. There we go. That's the closest thing you get to a round of applause.
Just rapidly slap yourself on the cheek.
I don't know if that would really sound much. I'll give it a shot.
No.
There we go.
Oh god, he's unconscious.
Not doing that again, but I mean, I'll endure a little physical pain for the entertainment of the viewers. Still no GT3s coming into the pits yet for their pit stop, which, I mean, not surprising. We're 58 minutes left of a 90-minute race. Not halfway through yet. Mauricio Delgado has come in, probably related to that spin that we saw. Probably did no favors to the tires with that and came in for service. So it is Ariel Zatoni still trailing Jesus Huerta. So it is Kaleb Gonzalez, Richard DeRoche still 2nd place, still ahead of Mike Stofmeel. And then it is this battle here between Huerta and Zatoni. In the GT4 category, John Barker's taken the lead. What has happened to Zifo Duran? Did we lose him? We lost somebody. It was not Duran. He's actually still in 2nd place. So Barker has caught and passed, or Duran has made a mistake. Mengual's in 3rd, Butler 4th, Perez Torres in his return 5th place. And then it is Shannon Flynn.
Oh my goodness.
Not really said much about all day, actually. We are down to 22 cars running, so whoever we lost was a GT4 running car that lost connection. This doesn't necessarily narrow it down all that well, as a couple of BMW M6s go through on Douglas DeGroat there to put a lap on him. The BMW train from 6th place back to 8th place here. Fran Machuca, Martin Edmonds, and Christoph Verstappen. Verstappen's got to be kicking himself. He was well in the lead earlier on. And now finds himself back in 8th place.
I think it's time for Javier to start running people off the road and just claiming spot after spot.
I mean, it's an option. He is the only Mexican out there right now because, of course, we lost Gerardo Del Val.
Well, where's the last place you saw him?
In the pit lane.
Goodness gracious.
Christopher Streppen dives to the inside of Fran Machuca. But nothing happening at this time. Machuca and Edmonds still hold position ahead of him. The two admins versus the fast up-and-comer, the youngster, the upstart, Christopher Streppen. Actually, I have no idea how old he is, so he may be the oldest guy on the grid for all I know.
Actually, I heard everybody's below the age of 24.
Whoa! I don't even know if there is anybody. Well, there is. Max Simmons is quite young.
I heard that he was below the age of anything. Literally from driving inside the room.
Tony Santaclara falling down a lap to this battle for sixth place, and he gets nicely out of the way. Love that livery, Tony. 2 thumbs up.
Francisco Machukenstein going for it. Going for it.
Indeed.
Going for it.
Edmonds is aggressively defending that position though. And Christopher Streppen may be the one to profit here. And indeed, down the inside he goes. And gets the spot there from Fran Machuca for 7th place.
Are you ready for a Bible fact of the day?
Hit me.
Lord of the Rings was originally part of the New Testament canon, but was removed by Constantine in AD 330. True story. Also removed Dune, The Wheel of Time, and Your Best Life Now.
Spice must flow, baby.
Correct.
Ooh, Luciano Ochazo getting a little bit out of shape in the background there as he laps Tony Santaclara. Fran Machuca looking for a way past Christopher Verstappen. Oh, Martin made a mistake. And Verstappen, 6th place just like that. He's a man out of position. A man who should be on a charge. And Ariel Zatoni should be next on his list.
A man of sheer fucking will. Something, 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 pencil.
A man of sheer fucking will. Something you know little about.
Punch in liver.
Indeed. Theo Allen, will you ever not play someone who gets the crap beat out of you? Game of Thrones, John Wick.
Well, I mean, he's very scrawny, so I don't think so.
Or not Theo, it's Alfie Allen, isn't it? I can't remember his name now. He gets his ass kicked in Predators 2, which, by the way, if you've not seen Predator, that particular Predators movie, I don't. It's really not very good.
Man, it's fucking Piano Guy's best performance ever. I don't know what your problem is.
It's got a really good...
Brody, that's what I'm talking about.
No, that's the other Predators movie. I'm talking about the newest one that spun around there.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I'm not watching that.
The Shane Black directed one is the one I'm referring to.
Oh, Shane Black
has a really good cast. It's got Allen in it. It's got Key from Key and Peele. It's got Thomas Jane. It's got a really, really good cast. It's just a terribly directed movie. Zifo Duran trying to get back into lead of the GT4 category. He is catching up to John Barker. That gap last we looked at it was about 4 seconds. It's now down to under 1. Good to see John Barker out front. Man who deserves good results for the work he does for the community and also just for the clean racing he usually exemplifies.
Indeed. I would like to congratulate Juan Barcadero on winning the Nobel Race Prize.
That would be interesting. Why is there not a Nobel Race Prize?
I don't know. Probably because they're just jerks.
Makes a ton of sense. Makes a ton of sense.
Bunch of nerds.
And there is the battle for the lead of the GT4 category with Zifo Duran. Now, if I'm Zifo Duran, I'm pondering a pit stop right here. Just, get some clear air, run some lap times, and then when John Barker comes in for his pit stop, you jump him. Not sure if I'd do
Knife
it right
him right in the
now.
neck.
We're still a little bit over halfway through, so you'd be putting your tires on a bit of a lifespan towards the end. But I don't think it'd be too bad. I think you consider it. Mike Stofmeel, by the way, has dumped into the pits and is the first GT3 to get service. He's come out ahead of Wayne Hutchison, so Wayne's having a bad day.
The Wayne in Spatang falls mainly in the spittoon.
Come on, Wayne, go faster. Shannon Flynn just lost 4th place, actually, in the GT4 category to James Butler. No, not James Butler. He's holding it. He actually is still holding it against James Butler. Never mind.
But what if I do mind?
5th and 6th place there for Butler and Flynn. Zifo Duran all over the back of John Barker. Sergio Mengual in the background, so the 3rd place car is within eye shot, although it is having a relatively lonely day with Javier Perez Torres in 4th place being about 5 seconds off of him, and Shannon Flynn and Butler, who are squabbling.
Kids, if you don't play nice, we're going to turn this race right around and go home.
Actually, the loneliest guy on the track right now has got to be Tony Santaclara. He's 33 seconds behind Alex Loeffler, almost 34 seconds, but it's like 16, 17 seconds ahead of Douglas DeGroat behind him. Oh, that's Christopher Verstappen's spot again! Andrew D moves into 8th place. Verstappen having all kinds of problems. He was charging, he was on the move, he was up to 5th place, and now finds himself back in 9th place with Mike Stofmeel behind him, who has already pitted. This track has so many different lines through the corners. It's actually very, very interesting. As somebody who was out there, doing laps and finding his lines around here, that a lot of people, both faster and slower, are on vastly different ideas of where to put the car. It's very intriguing.
I think the best place to put the car is way out in 1st.
Kaleb Gonzalez would agree with you. Although he's not way out in 1st. He's about 3.7 seconds up on Richard Roche. So Roche's keeping him honest. Really solid race from Grande Ricardo. We've not talked about him a ton, but doing a very good job.
9 out of 10, Kaleb Gonzalez would agree.
Fran Machuca a little bit off the track there. It'll be interesting to see if Stofmeel starts climbing through the field. That'll be when we know that the tires of the GT3s are not really sustainable. But right now, Christopher Verstappen is keeping him to about 38.5 to 39 seconds away from him. Zifo Duran, not going to go for it there. And new guy in last place for GT3s, it is Max Simmons. So Simmons at some point has run into some troubles.
Are you talking about Maxwell, the Simulacra Simmons?
Maxwell, Simons.
Max Headroom
Simmons. Way off. There's John Barker, and Zifo Duran goes into the lead, so he did not need to do the undercut. Although, about 2 minutes away from optimal pit time, so we should see some people dive in soon. Only 4 people have taken their pit stop so far. Means 19 still have to make a stop or face a penalty.
And that penalty will include a big fine that goes directly to me.
Verstappen and Zatoni in the pit lane. Zatoni is the first one out. He was the first one in, so that's not surprising. And Zatoni rejoins behind Mike Stofmeel by about 13, 14 seconds, it looks like. So that gap has grown. I think Stofmeel may have picked a good time to come into the pit lane because looks like he is going to pick up the lead when this is all shuffled through, I think, because Gonzalez was not that far ahead of Zatoni. Unless Zatoni made a mistake in the pit lane, which is possible.
So I'm debating whether or not to purchase ACC. Because it is on sale, Steam sales right now.
It is on sale. Yeah, Steam sales.
But the only thing I would ever use it for at any point would be live commentary. So I can't really justify it based on the fact that I don't think anybody does live commentary for ACC.
Cole and Ayrton do.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to step in on their deal. I think that the debate closed right there.
Not that I'm in any way pushing for this, because, I mean, you know, it's your money. You do what you want. There may be a Wednesday ACC series coming up, because there's been some issues with Race Room as far as Wednesday is concerned. It seems to be like their update day.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting a little bit tired of being preempted. As Max Simmons loses a spot there to Christoph Verstappen, but they're not really racing because Verstappen's been into the pits for service. Anyways, that might become a live scenario at some point, and if somebody wants to handle the live commentary for that, you could certainly hop on board with that. So yeah, there are things.
Maybe a thing, because I'm not gonna play the game. Hey, if you're new here to commentary, I don't race.
Byron does not race. Do not take his advice seriously.
So I would not be playing the game, and as I understand it, their replay system is not good. So
it's not that it's not good, it's that there's no auto director function within ACC.
Martin Edmonds, horrible
drive-through penalty. It's a little bit frustrating that there is no drive-through penalty, because like ACC actually produces a quick cut of your race called a highlight package, where it goes over like 15 minutes or so of the best action in the race. So it's weird that it can do that, but it cannot do what Race Room does with the auto director. It's very weird. So yeah, to do a good job of ACC commentary, you unfortunately have to do it live, which means somebody has to not race, and that has always led to some complications. Although Cole, I said, Cole and Ayrton have been doing a stellar job with the group, and are actually doing a lot of good work with the editing and stuff.
Excellent.
Jesus Huerta in the pit lane from third place, as the pit stops are properly underway right now. I see somebody coming in behind him. Let's see what Fran Machuca's been in and is reunited with Zatoni. Zatoni headbutted something. His front end is all kinds of fucked up. So, Kaleb Gonzalez, Andrew D., Luciano Achazo, Jesus Huerta, and Richard DeRoche going deep. I thought we saw Huerta come in, actually, so that just hasn't clicked over yet. And DeRoche's in the pits. There it is. DeRoche's pit stop is complete. Obviously, the red circle next to people's names means they have, or the red square with the white circle in it, has not pitted. If it turns green, it means you have cleared your mandatory pit stop and are ready to go. There is Richard DeRoche rejoining. Now, where does he rejoin in relation to Mike Stofmeel? The answer is behind Mike Stofmeel.
Teleports directly behind him.
I hope that Ariel Zatoni didn't smash that car up after his pit stop, because that would suck. Drive-through penalty for Jesus Huerta speeding in the pit lane.
Surely make you lose your mind.
Surely make you lose your mind.
Don't call me Shirley. A double reference.
Indeed. On point today. So Gonzalez, D, Simmons are the only three GT3s yet to come into the pits. Mengual, Javi Perez Torres, Shannon Flynn, and James Butler amongst the GT4s. Speaking of Butler, we go right to him, as that is Wayne Hutchison behind him coming through to lap him. And he is trying to chase down the Lotus of Shannon Flynn. The Lotus is going very deep.
Shannon O'Flynn.
You know who it is that DC'd earlier? It was Liam Curtin, because I'm not seeing the third Lotus anymore.
Correct. And or that particular flag.
And we have also lost somebody else from the running. to a DC, unfortunately. Not sure who it is. If I figure it out, I will let you know. Shannon Flynn in the pits from 3rd in the GT4 category. Mengual and Butler have gone around for another lap. Looks like Javi Perez Torres is also in the pits, judging by the gap. So it's just Mengual and Butler to go in the GT4 category. Just D and Gons in GT3.
Are you prepared for my newest car parody?
Hit me.
Beamer. Gonna drive a Beamer. Not using turn signals. Oh no. Gonna drive a Beamer.
Yeah, I mean, when you buy a Beamer, I mean, inevitably there is that upgrade package that includes the properly functional turn signal, which means it doesn't work.
That's the counterfeit Beamer. If you have a functioning turn signal, no, you got ripped off. Javi
didn't
P.
get Shannon Flynn drive-through penalty for speeding the pit lane. That works out for Javi P.
Indeed.
Jesus Huerta also rejoining behind them. I think Jesus was serving a drive-through. That is what, 3 drive-throughs for speeding in the pit lane? Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Gotta get on your game. Javier having a very successful return to the ESR grid in 6th place.
Indeed. Looking scrum-diddly-umptious out there in the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup car.
Mm-hmm.
Delightful.
I've always wondered why more candy brands don't sponsor race cars, to be honest. It seems like something that, would kind of fit with the market.
Hell yeah. Why is there not like a McDonald's brand car?
There has been at various points in IndyCar and NASCAR, but I don't think they really tend to do. There's a KFC car in Formula 2 these days.
That makes all the sense in the world.
As Javier does not wait for the drive-through penalty to be served and actually overtakes Shannon Flynn on track.
I can feel it heavy in the air tonight.
Flynn has fallen way back. What is up, Shannon?
He's drunk. Or she. I don't know. Is Shannon a dude?
I do believe it's a dude. I've heard him speak on voice comms a handful of times.
Fair enough.
No ladies in the field today, I don't think. Well, the lady racer is not nearly as non-existent as we tend to think. We still don't have many in ESR. I think we're at what? 5? I want to say 5.
Yeah, 5 or 6. That depends. Do the twins count as 2 people, even though they use one account?
Twins count as 2 people. I mean, they race very differently. One is very aggressive, the other one is not.
Fair enough. Yeah, I haven't seen them race. I haven't seen Sarah race or...
Sarah did the ACC opener at Barcelona, but she missed Spa, unfortunately. She is having a leg injury, which sidelined her for that festivity.
Well, just use your hands and push the pedals and steer.
It was a weird day at Spa. I had like 4 people sign out on the day of, just with physical injuries. I'm like, what are you people doing?
Yeah, I haven't seen, I don't know if they race in other races that we don't do commentary on, but I haven't seen the lady racers in anything in, I want to say about 6 months.
Yeah, outside of Sarah, you're correct. Rochelle, of course, did the academy, and unfortunately has scheduling conflicts with almost everything else we do. Because she, of course, races in other communities.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Everybody's all part of these weird communities I don't know nothing about.
Yeah, it's a lot of people, it's just scheduling conflicts with other community stuff. So, there's only so much... It's only so much cooperation we really are capable of.
Well, I feel that they should be prioritizing racing and things that I commentate on, because I am a unique snowflake.
Oh, so Kaleb Gonzalez has been into the pit lane and has, in fact, lost his lead to Mike Stofmeel, but he's still only about a little over 2 seconds behind him. He does have more tire life from this point onwards than Mike, because Mike was the first GT3 to come in. So in theory, his tires will fall off a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. The GT3s have all pitted, so it is Mike Stofmeel from Kaleb Gonzalez, Richard DeRoche, Fran Machuca up to 4th place. And that is James Butler and Sergio Mengual. I believe those are the last 2 people to serve a pit stop, actually. So it is Stofmeel, Gonzalez, DeRoche, Machuca, Tony, your top 5 in GT3. I will give a rundown of the GT4 top 5 once those 2 pit stops are completed. But it looks like John Barker is the effective leader.
The leader of the John Barker trio?
Yes, sir. Somebody spun off into the infield there. I didn't catch who. I think that was Martin Edmonds.
Yeah, it was probably Christoph again. He's drunk.
All right, so pit stops are cleared in the GT4 category. John Barker leads from Tony Santaclara. Now, Tony's in that weird spot where he pitted very early, so those tires bear watching. Sergio Mengual, James Butler 4th, 5th place for Javier Perez Torres. Where is Zifo Duran?
He's right behind you.
He appears to be gone.
You appear to be correct.
No Zifo. No Zifo.
Zifo got C-Ford. Zifo got Anfo. Explosive jokes.
So we are down to 22 cars running, 12 in GT3 and 12 in GT3 and 10 GT4s remaining.
10. It was topical. It was erotic.
Javier Perez Torres versus James Butler, a battle of longtime ESR veterans, academy graduates, over 4th position.
Ain't got no Paul Riccobeni out there. No, we don't.
He never races on the weekends. The weekends are wifey time.
Well, now I know that I can just flood him nonstop with horrible animal stuff. And I sent him a gif of a seagull wolfing down an entire rabbit.
He told me about that.
I bet he did.
No, you did.
Oh, I did, didn't I? Yeah. I asked,
you asked if you should send it. I said yes.
Correct. I forgot. I was about 18 vodka cranberries deep at that point.
Javier Perez Torres still on the tail of James Boutlier.
Boot over, boot.
I don't think we've said his name all day, but he's actually up to 6th place in the GT4 category. Martin Hughes.
Matt Hughes?
No, Martin Hughes. Don't call him Matt Hughes. Don't do him dirty like that.
I was gonna say, am I instantly rooting against somebody? Or what's going on here?
There is Martin Hughes. No relation to Matt Hughes.
And even if he was, he'd deny it.
He would deny it. Matt Hughes is a horrible person.
Horrendous.
And if you need proof that Matt Hughes is indeed horrible, you can read excerpts from his book put together by Sean O'Connell.
Correct. Now, if Martin Hughes finishes higher in his category than Martin Edmonds, does Martin Edmonds have to relinquish the name of Martin?
Probably not, but it'd be an interesting thing to start.
I will challenge you to a duel of Martins.
There's a surprising lack of overlap in names, actually, within our community. There's some, obviously. Mike Stofmeel,
I was going to say, you're literally just saying that because 90% of them are all named Mike.
Richard Higgs and Richard DeRoche. And then Martin Edmonds, Martin Hughes. That's kind of about it, though. I don't think there's anything else.
And everybody else is named Javier.
No, just one Javier. Well, it depends on how ACC Racer... it's spelled Xavier Castano Muniz, but a couple of people have suggested that is actually Javier, or Javier in the Spanish tongue.
Ex-Javier.
And there are surprisingly enough 2 Xaviers in the ACC series. The other one is Xavier Eugeni.
Eugenics.
Not you, Jags.
Oh, my bad.
Javier Perez Torres. Talking of Javier's, all over the back of James Butler, looking to get through.
I hear that he is real cheese people.
I mean, I assume he's into cheese. And he's Mexican. Mexican food has a lot of cheese.
It's queso. Get it right.
I actually was tempted to get myself some Mexican food today, but I decided better of it.
We've had a long-standing local Mexican restaurant in town, but I never go there because it's way downtown.
We have a couple of two Mexican restaurants open up actually not too far away. So I've been doing skip the dishes from them a little bit. It's not been bad, although there was that horrendous bout of food poisoning at one point.
Yikes!
I've had it from them again. I do have a rule that if you serve me good food before, I'm willing to go back, and nothing has happened. So that's good.
Fair enough.
One-time deal. Luciano Echazo moving into fifth place, actually, as well as Christopher Streppen has a run there on Ariel's Tony. Don't worry, Ariel. Christoph will probably spin it at some point. Race leader Mike Stofmeel and the hunting McLaren Kaleb Gonzalez working their way through traffic.
He goes.
My favorite Thai place actually of all time did give me food poisoning once, but every other time I've been there, it's been perfectly fine. So. You know, they're batting a solid percentage.
Excellent. I can't think of a restaurant I've got food poisoning from locally ever. I'm sure.
I can only think of. I've had like 3 cases of food poisoning in my life.
I think the cases of food poisoning I've had are probably self-inflicted. Because I was a bit of a dummy at a point here and there.
Christopher Streppen on the tail of Ariel Zatoni. Ariel cannot keep up with Ichaza. That Corvette is streaking away.
Ariel versus Lotus. Fine song by Limb Lifter.
And down the inside goes Verstappen on Zatoni. And that will be for 6th place. So Christoph, pole position, currently 6th. Has definitely had the most interesting race of anybody out there. Not necessarily for the best of reasons. Gap at the front, by the way, is only about 1.5 seconds. So Kaleb Gonzalez is keeping Mike Stofmeel working for it. And Richard DeRoche is still in the mix, too. About 4 seconds further back.
See all those guys right around last place in the race. None of them have gone through the mandatory pit stop, and they will all be fined heavily.
It's because they're not running anymore, man. They're in the pit lane.
There's no excuse. Here in communist raceland, you either do things by the rules or you go to gulag.
I mean, that's not really a communist thing. It's kind of really every governmental system.
Go to gulag.
Unless you're rich. Then you get away with it.
Well, it's a good thing that lottery money is going to come through at some point so I can get away with everything.
My YouTube recommendations include latest update on WWE virus outbreak. Fun.
I mean, it's probably just a list of things that are actually happening.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or,
they're not taking their testing seriously enough, and I think they're up to like 7 wrestlers who have tested positive now.
I mean, to be honest, that's just me in high school. I didn't take the testing seriously either.
Javier Perez Torres a little off the track there. He's not going to lose a spot. These are all cars coming through to lap him, but it does take the pressure off of James Butler.
Under pressure.
In the meantime, in the GT4 category, John Barker is easing away from Tony Santaclara at the front of the field. So he's under less pressure, actually, right now than Mike Stofmeel, if you can believe.
There's a lot of bong smoke going on around that corner. I don't know.
Something went really wrong at some point for Alex Loeffler, and he's back in 8th place in the GT4s. Was looking like a top 5 contender, and he's just way back there now. I don't know what to make of it.
Well, you know, it's all the PCP he took, but he preloaded too hard, and now he's crashing.
Mauricio Delgado also having a pretty bad day, and of course Douglas DeGroat. Now with DeGroat, we saw that was somewhat self-inflicted. It looked like he was just having a hard time controlling the car despite having great pace. And he's at the back of the pack. Oh, Martin Hughes has spun around and is being overtaken. So Hughes falling back. Oh, careful, Christoph. Almost got into the back end of Luciano Echazo. As they put a lap on Mauricio Delgado.
Hey, Mauricio. I do appreciate that the Hispanic people have made the name Maurice cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well done. Full applause on that one.
I mean, Maurice Green is pretty cool as well. Recently with his bizarre-ass tap out of Gian Vellante.
But he is no Maurice Cheeks.
That's true.
But then again, who is?
No one. Mo Cheeks stands alone.
Indeed. You gotta have Mo Cheeks. Mo Cheeks and Little Bit.
And to quote the Boondocks, a friend named Maurice when I was younger, we call him Mo Bitches.
These are true statements.
Tony Santaclara in the pit lane again. Interesting. Not sure what's up with this. He has cleared his mandatory pit stop and was running in 2nd place. Miscalculation on fuel, perhaps.
I have a dilemma that maybe you can help me solve.
Hit me.
Or maybe the people in the comments, if they've survived the commentary this long.
I'm sure they will.
So I've got one friend who's rewatching The Last Airbender, and I really want to watch that. And now Stofmeel's rewatching The Wire, and I really want to watch that. And I'm also in the middle of another anime series that I should probably finish first. But now I want to watch both of those things.
I'd finish what you're watching right now, unless you're just not enjoying what you're watching.
Oh, I'm enjoying it. It's just that the lure of the story arcs and the characters that I'm already familiar with is just like, ooh, I could go back into that.
True. I'm currently doing a rewatch of Star Trek Deep Space Nine and the Expanse.
I heard that it was originally going to be Star Trek Deep Dick Nine, but you know,
the network. Oh,
very nice.
A little close there. Sergio Mengual getting a little bit wide on Mike Stofmeel, and actually kind of shutting the door on the blue flag scenario for Kaleb Gonzalez.
He's the Matumbo of defensive driving.
Kaleb Gonzalez is actually within a second of Mike Stofmeel. Rarefied air.
This just in, I shared an Avatar Last Airbender meme with your boy Javier, and he has not ever watched Avatar.
I find this confusing. Is he not our resident weeb?
He is the massivest weeb that has ever existed.
Pretty sure that's the one true cop.
Yeah, that's probably. Well, I mean, I think Javier's physically larger.
I don't know. Javier's pretty small. How big is one true cow?
Oh God, he's like 1'2" and weighs a pound.
Oh well, then that would make him the smallest. Yes.
Indeed. I'm shitty at guessing. I think he definitely told me. I mean, you've got the stats in the sim, but neither of us can remember what they are now.
Not off the top of my head, no.
I think Kyle's about 5'6", 130.
That would be smaller than Javier, then, yes. Javier not particularly big, though. He's a lightweight in the sim.
There you go. Well, I could be a lightweight too, as long as I stopped eating and having muscles.
We'd have to remove a leg, I think.
I would have to remove all the muscle tissue from my body, and my bones would weigh in at 154.5.
Christoph Verstappen on the tail of Luciano Chazo, coming up to the battle between Javier Perez-Torres and James Butler. Briefly, Javier had appeared to have gotten third, and now is behind Mr. Butler. Only one BMW GT4 on the podium, which is surprising in the sense that earlier in this race, 5 out of 6 podium spots belonged to BMWs at one point, and now only 2 do. And that is John Barker and Richard DeRocha.
I'll let Javier know that I'm mocking him on commentary right now. Because I'm conscientious like that.
You wanted to brace himself for the upcoming mockery. Yeah. Excellent. Javier. Come on, Javier.
Put him in the wall.
One of my favorite people to race with against one of my least favorite people to race with. You know why, Butler?
What, with all of the dirty tactics and the smoke screens?
All the hitting me in the ass.
Oh, delightful.
It's not my thing. It's your thing, that's fine, but it's not my thing. Well, there is the gap between Mike Stofmeel and Kaleb Gonzalez. It's 0.9 of a second, and you can see with your eyeballs, it's pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So the McLaren is still working it and does have the fresher tires here with the last 19 and a half minutes. Christoph Verstappen, in the meantime, is still crawling through the field. He's up on the tail of Luciano Chazo, where he's been for a fair while and hasn't managed to get through. Also, I recommend checking out the Battletech video I upload there, Mr. Byron.
Oh, yeah? I was going to.
Indeed. There's an amusing name for you.
Is it Herkimer Wankelstrom?
Let's just say it has something to do with the Bad Blue Boys.
Oh, interesting. Do you have a new mech driver named Bogdan Bogdanovich?
I have a new rival with a similar name. Put it that way.
I need to rewatch that too. Fuck.
Real Football Factories International.
I have to download that. Don't tell the authorities I'm doing that.
That was a very solid documentary. Relatively short, very few episodes. You can watch it in one sitting, frankly.
Was it like 6 episodes? 6 or 8?
6 or 7, I think.
Yeah. 7.5.
Let's see, they went to Yugoslavia.
I mean,
Russia,
I could probably just look it up.
Turkey, Poland, Brazil, and Argentina, I think. So, however many that is.
6. You bet.
There we go. 3 stops in Eastern Europe, 1 in Asia, and 2 in South America.
Oh, no, wait, that's the original one. Real Football Factories. Then there's the International. Hold on a second. 8. 8 Internationals.
Okay. So I'm missing 2 countries.
So what were your guesses again, sorry?
Poland.
Right?
Russia.
Uh-huh.
Yugoslavia.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
Brazil and Argentina.
Yep.
Turkey, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other 2?
The nether regions.
Okay.
And southern Germany. I mean Argentina.
Interesting. I said Argentina.
Did you? Oh, my bad. Italy? You miss Italy?
I did not say Italy. Okay.
My
so
bad.
Netherlands and Italy were the 2
I
I'm missing.
totally didn't want to make a German immigration joke at all.
I don't judge.
I do, but only because it's funny.
Kaleb Gonzalez, very on the tail of Mike Stofmeel. It's down to 0.5 of a second. That McLaren, it's got fresh tires, and it's looking to make a successful debut here after being a car that's been left on the sidelines for so long. Recent changes to the BOP helping it out significantly. Verstappen looking for the move on Echazo. You think he's going to get it, Byron?
I think they'll have to test him to see if he is positive, but it's a fair chance he's going to get it. Oh,
True.
I'm sorry, the race?
The race, yes, not the COVID.
We'll give him a solid 5 out of 7 chance.
Not the Steve Carino.
The Steve Carino, still top heel.
It won't ever stop.
Global top heel Steve Carino.
I can't even remember a face run for Steve Carino. That's how.
No, I don't.
That's how heel it is.
Yeah, no, I can't conceive of anything like that for Steve Carino. I started watching him when he was in ECW, and he was damn good. And then he started talking shit about Dusty Rhodes.
Christoph Verstappen got past Echazo there off screen. We saw the lead up, but not the actual overtake, unfortunately.
Dang. Well, I managed to find it.
It's still going. Echazo's coming back at him.
Get him! I have discovered a online avenue to acquire said Football Factories, both series is. But I got no generous sharing partners. So I'm going to click some links, and we're going to find out what works.
Well, Verstappen has been relegated behind Echazo again, so that fight is not over. The fight for third place in GT4 is still going on between James Butler and Javier Perez Torres. They're quite a ways behind Mengual and Barker at this point. They're fairly set in the top 2 positions, but third place is still up for grabs. And behind them, they have a hard-charging Tony Santaclara, who is possibly on fresh tires at this point, having made his second pit stop. So he could be a threat.
Get him, Tony.
Then it is Shannon Flynn in 6th place. Alex Loeffler, Mauricio Delgado, Martin Hughes, Douglas DeGroat. We've lost somebody else now. We're down to 21 cars. It is a GT3 that is missing. Looking through the list to see if I can identify the missing party. I think it's Jesus Huerta. We've lost Jesus.
Y'all MFers require the Jesus.
In the meantime, Verstappen, Echazo, still battling. Belgium versus Argentina. I'm sure there's some great soccer rivalry between those two at some point.
I'm assuming every soccer rivalry is fantabulous, involving lots of shooting and stabbing.
Verstappen! Looks like he's got. Well, most of the stabbing actually comes with non-international, more local.
That seems fair.
And Verstappen got the job done. Looked a little bit off the track there, but 2 wheels on. So that is a legal overtake. Javi P still on the tail of James Butler. Go Javi P! Go Javi P!
Hell yeah! I provided you with a certain link to a thing.
I'll enjoy it. Is what you're trying to say?
I mean, maybe there's a.
You'd recommend it?
We'll go into a little detail later, but we'll see if either of these things will shake down, and maybe we could watch this whole series again.
Luciano trying to get back at Christoph Verstappen in the background there. I think that's Douglas DeGroat in the GT4 car.
Go, Dougland.
Kaleb Gonzalez is piling the pressure on Mike Stofmeel. He's got fresher tires. He's got less ballast. He's not in as strong of a car because that Mercedes is the stronger of the 2 cars. But the McLaren is serving him well right now. Ooh, Javier might get it here. Butler going defensive. Looks like he'll shut the door.
Your boy Butler, the booty buster Butler, with the horrible paint job.
You really hate that paint job.
It sucks.
It's to an amusing level.
It sucks. It's yellow and gray. And it's not even like well done. It's like, oh, we got this back end from this car, we got the rest from this other car. Just fucking smash it together. Who cares? It's horrible. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It looks like the worst ice cream flavor that could potentially ever exist.
Yeah, gray and ice cream flavor is never a good thing.
No, it's charcoal. We're gonna give you charcoal and straight lemon juice sherbet.
Charcoal lemon sherbet. Oh god.
That's what that looks like, and that's the effect it has in my brain.
Well, battle for the lead continues. 0.7 seconds separating them with 10 minutes to go. About 5 laps.
Will Javier eventually
quick rundown of
himself into a victory?
Quick rundown of the survivors so far. We got 21 cars remaining, 11 in GT3, 10 in GT4. GT3 standings. Mike Stofmeel leads this man. Kaleb Gonzalez, Richard DeRoche in third, ahead of Fran Machuca, Christoph Verstreppen, Luciano Achazo, Ariel Zatoni, Martin Edmonds is suddenly back in 8th place. He's having a bit rough day. Andrew D, Wayne Hutchison, Max Simmons. Those are your remaining GT3s. John Barker leads the GT4 category from Sergio Mengual, James Butler. Javier Perez-Torres is hot on his heels, though. Tony Santaclara might yet be a factor for the podium. Shannon Flynn, Alex Loeffler, Mauricio Delgado, Martin Hughes, and Douglas DeGroat. By the way, either Martin Hughes is putting up some terrible laps or Douglas DeGroat is throwing down some hot fire right now because that gap is closing.
He's coming at him hotter than a new Ebola wave. Is that too far?
Might be a bit beyond the bounds of good taste these days.
Well, I suppose. I mean, that is the last fucking thing we need.
Oh, James Butler has spun around! Perez-Torres up into third, but did he spin the Butler? Did he do the Butler, or did the Butler do the Butler?
He dang got buttled.
Kaleb Gonzalez still stalking Mike Stofmeel. Andrew D looking for a way past Martin Edmonds for well, the Canadian podium, I guess. It's DeRoche, Edmonds, and D right now. I like that PlayStation car, actually. It stands out nice.
It's not too bad. Pale Station. That's what I'm calling the new one. It's the Pale Station 5.
The Fiesta Pale Station?
Hey, Fiesta Pale Station, yes! Make sure you do go to fiestapale.com and purchase as many as you possibly can.
And do not buy.
Buy them immediately. Buy as many as you can. They are delicious, TM.
This broadcast has been brought to you by Fiesta Pale. Don't buy
Hell
this.
yeah. Have you watched the latest Fireteam Whiskey episode?
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Kaleb Gonzalez getting a little impatient with James Butler there. I thought that was a little bit rude to flash the headlights there, but he wants to stay on the tail of Mike Stofmeel and get this win.
I mean, the better move is to flash the taillights. Whoa, Fireteam Whiskey.
Hey, Tex, I got a message here from the Steiner Scout Squad, and they are extremely angry about you misleading them on the Oktoberfest thing.
Something married to a catapult.
No, it was married to an elemental.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know how that works. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. Like, is there a ladder involved? It sounds like you kind of want to know. Shout out to Blaine Lee Pardo for participating in the fan fiction of the setting that he writes for.
Steiner Assault Squad OP. We have kicked the orphanage into the river. They really need to do like a supercut of all the Steiner Assault Squads.
Probably have, actually. Someone probably
or
has.
a playlist or something.
Stofmeel continues to hold Javier Perez Torres in the background, battling fiercely for that final GT4 podium spot against Tony Santaclara.
Can the man with 18 yaks worth of ballast hold off the zesty Peruvian marching powder?
Peruvian marching powder.
And we're back to cocaine jokes.
It all comes full circle.
Gonna fit you for a Peruvian necktie.
Don't tell Tony D'Souza that, or CB Dalloway.
Yeah. I mean, fuck CB Dalloway, but other than that, yeah.
I mean, man has more Peruvian necktie victories than anyone else I can think of.
Should we call it the no upper lip necktie then?
Tony Santaclara looking for any excuse here to get past Javi Perez Torres. Richard Giroche has lapped them. He's the GT3 podium. This, however, is for the GT4 final podium step.
Steppenwolf?
James Butler and Shannon Flynn in the background. Kaleb Gonzalez. Still, he can smell victory. He's so close to Mike Stofmeel.
Actually, that's weed.
That too. Tony Santaclara. That second pit stop has knocked him off the podium. Might have, honestly, with the pace he's shown, a victory may have been in the cards for him if he hadn't needed that second pit stop. Not sure what the reason was. The only thing I can think of is fuel. But Tony, let us know in the comments.
Just pulled over for some fried chicken.
Sounds more like a Javier Perez Torres thing to do. Kaleb Gonzalez. I've been a little disappointed there hasn't been a lunge, but there was a lunge there. Kaleb is in the lead. Go back to the fight for the lead. God damn it, cameraman. Stofmeel has fought the attempt off and continues to lead. But that was the first real attempt there by Kaleb Gonzalez to get this lead. And he's getting nervous because there's only probably 2 laps to go. So he's running out of time. Javier Perez Torres is on the inside of Tony Santaclara. Santaclara to 3rd place for the time being. Can Javi come back at him? Spain versus Mexico. Now that is a legendary soccer rivalry.
Actually, I believe it's known as Old Mexico.
Old Mexico versus New Mexico?
No, just current Mexico.
Just
New Mexico's a whole other place.
Media Mexico.
Yeah, you got Old Mexico, Mexico, and then New Mexico. Totally different places.
Javi Perez Torres on the tail of Tony Santaclara. Kaleb Gonzalez trying to check down Mike Stofmeel.
He's got 18 yaks in his trunk. You're never going to beat him. He's just going to ditch a yak on you and blow right through your hood.
I mean, you might be right. Stofmeel's actually got that up over to a second now. So maybe Gonzalez made an attempt and it did not work and has set him back. Javier.
I understand that Javier is able to differentiate between a smear of green on the side and the smear of green that has now magically become trees.
Yes. He can tell the difference between grass and trees now. Shannon Flynn still in the tail of, or well, not still. He's kind of just gotten on the tail of James Butler. Andrew D versus Martin Edmonds, kind of an underreported battle. Still going on for 8th place in the GT3 category. Both of these guys probably fancied themselves to get a better result here, to be honest, and it's turned into a slightly downer day for them. But they have one more lap to settle things.
I think we should do a series where you're only allowed to team up with people with the same first name.
I mean, I'm down for that because Mike Stofmeel is my partner then.
Well, yeah, but then watch everybody change their screen name to Mike. No, it's Mike the whole time, guys. I was just leading you on.
Then he gets to pick.
Yeah. You get Mike Ichazo.
Mikey Chazo.
Mike.
I mean, it's not actually as silly a name as you'd think, because Chazo, I mean, that's an Italian name, despite the Argentine incantation there.
Oh,
and there are Michaels
from an Axis power might have migrated to Argentina at some point.
I'm suggesting that might be the case.
Wow.
Javier's going for a move up ahead. I'd like to go there instead of this battle between Flynn and Butler, as entertaining as it is. But it looks like Javier has gotten 3rd place back.
Little butt punch.
And Butler really shutting the door there on Shannon Flynn. Oh, Santaclara back ahead of Javi P. That fight continues. In the meantime, Mike Stopos.
Sir?
No, Javi!
Sir?
That's a wall, Javi.
Did he run out of, like, beta carotene, or, like, what's going on there?
I don't know.
That man was drunk.
It is a victory for Mike Stopmill over Kaleb Gonzalez and Richard DeRoche, and Shannon Flynn promoted to 5th, James Butler to 4th, as there is the man who ran out of beta carotene. That is Javi Perez Torres.
I think he started hitting the bong rips way too early.
Shannon Flynn making the last-ditch effort here on Butler, shoving him wide. Can the Lotus outdrag the Porsche? The answer is no. That is the finish line up ahead. And not today for Shannon Flynn. Sergio Mengual actually has made a late surge here against James Butler. Or not James Butler, John Barker. For the lead of the GT4 category. Go, John, go. Only a couple of turns left here for the Lotus of Sergio Mengual. We saw one Lotus come up short. Will the other one come up short as well?
Oh, Lord. Stuck in a low tie again. I mean, to be fair, the Lotuses are kind of small.
A little bit. Well, compared to the BMW, yeah. But the BMWs are huge.
They're just big chassis.
Got to accommodate that big engine. Ooh. Well, the results are up, so these two actually may be done. I don't know. Mike Stopmill, Kaleb Gonzalez, Richard DeRoche, Fran Machuca, Christoph Verstappen, Luciano Ichazo, Ariel Zatoni, Martin Edmonds, Andrew D, Wayne Hutchison, Max Simmons in the GT3 category are your finishers. John Barker and Sergio Mengual, the only 2 GT4s not to get lapped by their division leader. Tony Santaclara takes 3rd ahead of James Butler, Shannon Flynn, what could have been for Javi Perez Torres, Alex Loeffler, Mauricio Delgado, Martin Hughes, Douglas Doug Rote, and everybody else out of the race. So that is all from Sepang. I think Slovakia ring is next month's Enduro, so get ready for that. And Byron, do you have any parting comments?
Wear your mask so you can become a ninja.
Indeed. Ninja power.